Hey everybody, we are continuing our Devo thoughts based on our Wednesday night series, Tracing the Thread, where we look at the story in the Bible. We're up to the story of Joseph, and so our verse today comes to us from Genesis chapter 40, verse 8. They said to him, "We have had dreams, and there is no one to interpret them." And so Joseph said to them, "Do not interpret dreams, do not interpretations belong to God. Please tell them to me." So that's a little story of Joseph when he was in prison, right? You know, there's a place in Chattanooga, Tennessee called Ruby Falls, and it is an unusually beautiful waterfall, but it's also miles underground. To view the falls, you take an elevator that goes deep down into the earth, and the front of the elevator is clear so that you can ride into this thing, but as you go down, it's just a constant view of just a rock wall. For a long time, you just stare at the rock face as you descend, and finally the doors open and you find yourself in a narrow underground pathway that winds and winds and winds. With every step you start to wonder, am I ever going to get there? There's not a lot to see along the way, but when you finally arrive at the falls, it's well worth it. The beauty at the end is worth the not so great journey to get there. You know, we read about Joseph in Genesis chapter 40. We see that Joseph is sold into captivity and thrown in jail along with two of Pharaoh's employees. One night, each of the king's men had dreams that perplexed them. Since Joseph's godly character seemed to shine through even in prison, they asked for him to interpret their dream. And this one guy got a good report, and so the second guy hearing this asked Joseph to interpret his dream, and well, his report wasn't quite as good. But here's the thing, even while being imprisoned, Joseph sought to do the will of God. He didn't wait for better days. He didn't shrug off these guys because he was having, well, as I say, a bad day, but he's been in prison for a while, right? And furthermore, he spoke the truth even when it was bad news. So here's something to think about. Here's a couple of things to think about. How do bad situations affect the way that you treat other people? Do you let the situation dictate how you're going to respond, how you're going to answer, how you're going to react to other people? Also, what is one practical action that you can take the next time you're in a bad situation, but you still want to honor God? Life isn't always great views in good places. The elevator ride to Ruby Falls is a great reminder to us that sometimes there's of the mundane that we must often endure to get to the place where we can truly see God's plan. So in your prayer time, ask God to help you bring glory to Him, especially when it's not comfortable.